Good afternoon, YouTube. G-Man 5338 coming at you a little late. Why? Because it's been a hellacious day for the G-Man. I had therapy today. My anxiety has been flaring up. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been throwing up out of every hole in my body. I tell you, there are holes on my body that I discovered today that I didn't know I had. But I've got you for support. And I'm here for you. And as promised, a video every day of the week. And it's Friday. So what are we going to talk about? Marijuana. That's right. We'll do a little bit of a checky poo on our white widows. And we're going to talk about what type of marijuana is right for you. So we are going to talk about the types of marijuana that exist in the world today. All right. And we are also going to talk about cannabinoids and how they affect you, so you know what type of marijuana to buy or to consume and how to consume it. So stick with us here. Let's get smoking. Thanks for passing us a puff. Let's get talking about marijuana. Now, there are a number of types of marijuana which you may encounter in the world today. There are exactly 4 types of marijuana in the world today. The very 2, starting with the most common, is Indica. The second most common is Sativa. There is also Ruderalis cannabis, okay, but you will not see that. That is an Eastern European marijuana, all right? And it grows much differently than Sativa or Indicas do because it is not based, it does not flower based on the photocycle. Remember, we talked about cycling last week, okay? Ruderalis flowers based on its age, okay? And it's a very short plant. It will only grow 1 to 2 feet high at best. But again, you will not see this. So, we have Indica, Sativa, Ruderalis, and Hybred is the 4th, ladies and gentlemen. Hybrid is just as it sounds. It is usually a mix of one of the 2 most common, Indica or Sativa. Now, if you are fortunate enough, like me, to be living in the Great White North, all right, weed is legal. So you will have a better selection and a better knowledge of what type of marijuana you are consuming. Now, if you are buying this stuff from a less than legal pharmacist, all right, you may not know what you are getting. So the most common type you will find if you are buying off the street will be Indica. All right? Indica is more likely going to give you a stoned feeling. All right? Indica is more of a mellow, sort of relaxing sort of thing. It is the type of marijuana you probably want to smoke at night. Okay? It is great for putting you to bed, take a hoot, watch a movie, pass out. Okay? Take this stuff in the day and you'll be tits up at your desk in the office. No good, ladies and gentlemen. No good. What a way to ruin your buzz. Now, there is Sativa. Sativa is not commonly found on the street, and there is a reason for this. It takes much longer to grow sativa, and sativas grow much taller than any of the other plants. It can get as tall as 10 to 12 feet high. All right, that is a huge mother may I heat score. All right, if you're growing this stuff out in some farmer's field and there is a 12-foot marijuana field within that cornfield, it is going to stand out like a sore thumb. And you will lose that crop on an interdiction, I guarantee. All right, so this is why you do not find sativas commonly on the street market. You will find sativas on the market in a hybrid variation. All right, they do this to keep the plants at a lower profile. Okay, there are what is called dwarf plants, and I believe they are mixed with Ruderalis. So they've been grafted, and eventually the seeds the plant from the seed will only grow so high. It also takes much longer to grow a sativa. Indicas grow quick. They grow about as tall as a corn plant, maybe a little more. Okay, and that is why you will commonly see these on the streets. Now, hybrids. Okay, the only way to be able to determine your hybrid, if you're smoking it, what one is good for you, is if you actually know what you're getting in that hybrid. Okay, what percentage is sativa and what percentage is indica. And normally the only way you're going to know that is if you are hooked up with legal marijuana. Okay, less than legal marijuana, you're probably not going to know. All right, so what are we going to do next week? Next week I am going to teach you some ways to identify the marijuana that you are about to consume, so you do not get a bad buzz, ladies and gentlemen. No, the G-Man looks after his people. What are we going to talk about next? We are going to talk about cannabinoids. There are five cannabinoids. The two that we will talk about today are THC and CBD. Why are we going to talk about these? Because when you buy legit marijuana, normally they are labeled by the values of these two. You will get a percentage of THC and a percentage of CBD. Now, both have very different effects from each other. And this is why you need to know about them. So if you've been following along, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the subject now of cannabinoids. That's right. I said there were 5. There are actually 6. I forgot one. But that's okay, because we're only talking about 2 today. All right? These are the 2 most common that you will find labeled on legal marijuana. All right? And the 2 that you need to be thinking about when you're purchasing marijuana. Okay? Everybody knows what THC is. Okay? We've all heard it. Okay? THC is a psychoactive property of marijuana. It is the cannabinoid that affects your melon. Now, there's another one called CBD, all right? And this one isn't psychoactive, okay? It doesn't make you high. Now, what are cannabinoids? Okay, if you look on your marijuana, or if you see marijuana, you will notice there are these little crystals on it. These are called trichomes. Okay, and the cannabinoids are located in those trichomes. They make up the trichome. Okay, so we talked about THC, we talked about CBD. So which is right for you? Which do you need? If you suffer from PTSD, all right, try THC. Okay, stick with a marijuana that is either a mix of THC and CBD, and I will tell you why just shortly. Okay. And or look for high THC, but remember, okay, to start low and go slow. Okay, if you suffer from PTSD, odds are you have anxiety and depression. And if you smoke too much THC, okay, it will mess your shit up. Okay, it makes you paranoid, it makes you anxious, it just exacerbates. Write that one down. The situation. Okay. So start low and go slow with THC. Now, you can find marijuanas that contain THC and CBD. What is CBD? Well, CBD, it counteracts the psychoactive effects of THC. So, if you consume a marijuana that contains THC and CBD, odds are you will not feel high. All right, it depends on the mixture of the two. So CBD will cancel out the THC high, okay? But you will still get the psychoactive effects of the THC. You just will not feel high. So CBD will relieve, you can target anxiety with it. It's good for that. It is great for nausea, and especially muscle pains or pain in general, okay? So if you do not have mental health issues, and you are taking this because you're taking marijuana because of pain, or because you're throwing up all over the place, okay, try CBD. All right? Now, if you, like I said, have PTSD, okay, you want some THC stuff, but maybe you need to be active through the day. So, if you need to be active in the day, look for an Indica. A Sativa. You need to find a Sativa for daytime smoking, something that either has low THC or THC and CBD combination. Okay? That will keep you from falling asleep. Now, in the evening time, hook yourself up with some of that Indica. All right? A little higher in the THC level now, because that is what is going to help you to sleep. Okay? And steer away from the CBD for the evening. Okay. Now, some of you out there may be asking me about different brands of marijuana. Okay? OG Kush, AK-47, White Widow. The list goes on. Okay? But the fact of the matter is that people will call it what they want to call it. All right? And they're going to tell you, maybe it's Indica, maybe it's Sativa, maybe they don't know. So, what do you need to do? You need to identify that shit. And that is what we're going to talk about next week. Because along with the various properties of cannabinoids as to how they affect you, they also carry various smells. And these smells can be anything from citrus to a musky kind of smell, or a woodsy lavender sort of smell as well, and taste. And the way it smells will equal how you feel. So it is important, okay, to identify your marijuana before you take it. And that is one of the things we will look at next week. There are also visual signs that will tell you what type of marijuana you are getting. But we will cover that. The G-Man is looking out for you. Now, like I said, there are a number of ways you can take marijuana. Okay, everybody knows that you can smoke the old Jaybird, a spliff, a blunt, a joint. All right? As any good undercover cop calls it, a marijuana cigarette. Somebody ever asks you to buy a marijuana cigarette from you? Maybe you shouldn't make that deal. Now, like I said, there are 3 ways in which you can consume. You can inhale it through smoke or vapor, okay? Or you can do edibles, all right? And I will throw tinctures, oil sprays, all that kind of stuff into the edible column because they produce different effects and different lasting effects, okay? Smoking or vaping marijuana, you can expect to feel the effects for about 3 hours. If you're eating marijuana, all right, if you're doing edibles, space cakes, brownies, tinctures, oils, all right, that stuff can last. You can feel the effects for 10 to 12 hours depending on how much you've consumed. And the problem is with taking edibles is that it doesn't necessarily hit right away. Your metabolism comes into effect. If you are inhaling by smoking or vaping, your effects are almost immediate. These are other things you need to consider when you are going to consume marijuana. Now, that's it for me today. I'm out. I'm wiped. I'm taking the weekend off. All right? But I want you all to be good and be safe. Remember to like this video on YouTube if you did like it. Show your support, please. We need it. Put your comments below. I like to hear what you're thinking about my content. So like I said, I want you to all have a good weekend. Make sure you watch plenty of episodes from the old G-Man. Reruns, ladies and gentlemen, they are a wonderful thing. All right, let's get them hours up. Let's get them subscribers in here so I can tell my story of the dragon. Now, I'm going to finish my joint. I'm going to puke everywhere. And then I'm going to try and be a dad. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Take care. We'll see you Monday, where I am going to teach you how to use your PTSD to bring people back into your life. So you will not feel isolated and you will have some support. So stay tuned for Monday. Check us out on Instagram. You probably keep up with us there through the weekend, and I will post the progress of the White Widows. You will see the seeds on Instagram shortly. With the roots, ladies and gentlemen, the ruts. Life has begun. Smoke it if you got it. Don't step on the grass, Sam. Peace.